Welcome to part 4 of my $6 Million Man restoration project. First up, I'd just like to say a couple of quick thank yous. I'd like to say thank you to Bruce Robert Wicks, who contacted me on Facebook and very kindly sent me a spare shoe that he had. So that's where one of these shoes has come from. I'd also like to say thank you to at Williams1Damon on Twitter, otherwise known as Retro Games, who also got in touch with me and sent me a couple of shoes, a much better condition top, which I've already added a replacement logo onto, and a couple of other spare bits that he had lying around. So thanks very much for you guys getting in touch. If anyone else has any spare bits and they'd like to help me with my project, please feel free to get in touch. I'm still looking for other bits, and I have a couple of other $6 Million Men that I'm going to restore in future, especially the Mars astronaut version. So thanks to everyone who's been helping. So let's get on with the next part of the restoration. In part 2 of this restoration, I showed you how I'd bought some replacement arm skins off eBay. In fact, I still have a few of them here, as you can see. And it turns out a few people had been in touch and sort of let me know that these are actually just party balloons, the sort of balloons that you blow up to make balloon animals. So I bought these off eBay, and I paid £10 for 20 replacement skins, which now looking back at it is a bit overpriced, because all you need to do is go onto any sort of balloon selling place and you can buy a big bag of these balloons. As you can see here, if I just take one of them out, it's the same stuff. All that you do when you buy the skins off eBay, they cut the end off so you have that round piece, and they send you that. So here I have 20 balloons and they cost me all of £3. So I paid £10 for 10 replacement skins, whereas I paid £3 and I've got enough balloons to do absolutely loads of figures. So don't be fooled and buy the replacement skins off eBay. You might as well just buy these balloons. All you've got to do is go onto any sort of balloon selling shop, and they'll have the balloons for making balloon animals. The key bit of information you need to know is that the size of the balloons are called 350Q, and that gives you ones that are the right sort of width and also length for doing the arm skin. And the colour is called blush. I did try and buy some other colours. In my error, I bought these ones. These are called mocha. I thought mocha might be a more sort of tan colour. As you can see, these are the wrong size, but yeah, mocha turns out to be a very brown colour, so don't buy those. It's blush is the right sort of colour. So I'm now going to use this new balloon to reskin this arm, because I found a spare arm on eBay that doesn't have a broken top portion, and one of the figures I'm fixing, the top joint was snapped completely, so I'm going to put the new skin on this one and replace the arm. And so here we have my balloon replacement skin. As you can see, it's exactly the same stuff. So don't bother buying the stuff on eBay because it's overpriced. You can just go to any sort of balloon shop and buy a whole pack of these balloons for less than it costs to buy a couple off a seller on eBay. And they do the same job. And if you have problems and tear them, you're going to have loads of spares. So as you can see here, I have an arm that doesn't have a broken top section, unlike the one that I have on here currently, which is missing a big chunk of the top. So I'm just going to swap this arm out. That can now be a spare for another figure that I already have in pieces, and I can slot this one back in place. So there we go, that's the arm replaced perfectly. Let's get on and sort out the paint chips on the hair. Fixing the paint on Steve Austin's head is going to be trickier than I thought. I have the remains of 4 Steve Austin dolls now, 2 of which have very similar colour hair, as you can see here at the front. I have a third guy whose hair is noticeably redder. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but this hair is a lighter shade and also much redder than the other 2. And I've got another guy here who's got a much darker shade of brown on the head. So it looks like there's not going to be one sort of fix all paint to paint all of the heads. I'm going to have to do each one individually. I've done a few tests. I've used a mixture of paints so far. All of these are the Humbrol acrylic paints, as you can see here. I've used a mixture of RC423 and RC402. I've been adding the red because of obviously this guy here has much redder hair. Also a little bit of black, and this is, so these are both matte colours and this is a slightly gloss black, because the hair is sort of half matte, half gloss, so you need a little bit of everything. And this is the guy that I've done the tests on. If I show you now, you can see most of the front of his hair was chipped off, and what I've painted back on is actually matching quite nicely. It's still a little bit matte, but I might add a little bit of varnish over the top of that just to bring it sort of closer to this shininess and colour. And on the back here again you can see the colour's pretty good, but it is just a little bit matte. So I'm going to go ahead now and try and match the darker brown that's on the rest of these $6 Million Man dolls. To start with, I'm going to do some tests on this very broken doll, one that I'm not really looking to keep, so if it goes wrong it doesn't really matter. So what I have now in front of me is I've got the 3 paints, and I've also put blobs of the paints so that I can mix them together, and I'll see what sort of colours I can get. He's a little bit darker than the brown I have. Actually, the colour's not too bad, so it may not need the red, but I'm going to mix a little bit of black in just to sort of darken this down, and we'll see what happens. So here we have a mix that I'm pretty happy with. It really is a fine combination. You need mainly brown RC402 with a little bit of the 21 and a tiny amount of 423, but it depends on the colour of the hair originally. This guy was quite a brown mix, so as you can see I've painted his eyebrows back on and touched up the front of his hair. Still a little bit wet at the moment, but the colour match isn't too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of it. Actually I can see I've got... Oh no, that's not me, that's just the marks on this poor quality doll I have here. So yeah, it's not too bad though, not too bad. So here we have the 2 dolls with the hair touched up. It's not a perfect match. I'm going to see if I can find something slightly better. The paint is still a little bit too matte. The colour is pretty good, it's just the fact that it's slightly matte that annoys me. The overall effect though is much better. You no longer have the sort of bright pink skin showing through the hair. So overall I'm pretty happy. I'm just going to see if I can find something slightly better and see if I can actually make that just look a little bit closer to the original. But as you can see, looking like this, they just look a whole load better. So the last thing I need to finish off my $6 Million Men dolls, as you can see here I now have 2 which are all fully working and have got replacement arms and nice tops, is the trousers. And I've been having trouble finding trousers, so looking on eBay, occasionally you'll see some clothing come up for sale, but it doesn't appear to be that often. So I got in contact with a seller here in the UK called Rod Hull's Ghost, who's on eBay, and he makes replacement outfits for the $6 Million Man, and they looked pretty good. So I got some just spare trousers off him, as you can see here, and the material is a pretty close match, and they're very nicely made. In fact, almost better made than the original uniforms. Really nice sort of nice sewing, nice amount of sort of elastic put in them. So I'm pretty pleased with these. Ideally, I would like to get some original trousers, but for the moment, these will do as replacements. So let's put these on the figures, and we'll see how they look. And so here we have the 2 finished Steve Austin dolls. I'd like to say thank you to Richard Lloyd, who in the meantime of recording this video has actually sent me an original pair of trousers. So this guy here on the left is original top, original trousers, original shoes, replacement socks, and I've replaced the badge and also touched up all the paint on him. As you can see, the trousers and top match very nicely. This guy on the right here has reproduction trousers, which I picked up off eBay. They're actually a pretty good match. They look quite nice. They're the right colour red, and the fabric matches pretty well. So standing next to each other, you'd be very hard pushed to tell the difference. The shoes are again supplied by Richard Lloyd. He sent me a few of these, so I've now got enough to complete both figures. I've actually got enough to complete probably a third $6 Million Man, which I may restore at a future date. So overall though, this project has gone very nicely, and I've ended up with 2 pretty good figures. The top of this guy on the right is a little bit more worn, but the top seems to come up on eBay quite regularly, so I'll hopefully pick up another one of those at some point. So I hope this restoration project has been of interest to everyone, and thanks for watching.